Helen,
And I'm Liz,
and we're sisters
scientists,
and lifelong X-Files fans.
and this is We Want to Believe.
Welcome back, everybody. Celebratory fluke noises for us all.
Yes, celebratory fluke noises to you as well, Helen.
I ran into my coworker, Britt, who is a loyal listener, and she went celebratory fluke noises
Oh,
behind me.
nice. Good to hear that she's up to date. Yeah.
I asked her for her opinion about this week's monster mashup, and she said she'd have to think about it. So,
Okay. I have some
thoughts.
I have some thoughts as well, and I also have some thoughts from the internet to share as well. So I did a survey. Oh, do you have anything else to share before we dive in?
No, I have. I did not think nearly as hard about this one as I did about the Fluke Man.
I mean, ultimately, I don't think you have to.
Well, I think
We'll
there's
talk
something.
about it.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
talk about it. But no. So, I mean, we have today's episode, Tunguska, and I have some stuff to share about that. But no, I have just a little bit to say about DPO versus Eves.
Yeah. So DPO, I have a quick correction, which is that I accidentally gave him the wrong middle name in the last episode. When I said what DPO stood for, I said Patrick, but that's because I was thinking about Robert Patrick Modell again. It's Peter. It doesn't matter at all, but just I want you all to know that I know that I was wrong, and it's
We
Peter.
know you were wrong. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Anyway, Giovanni Ribisi, the kind of dumb teen with a crush on his teacher who has lightning powers
Yeah.
versus smart, evil little children.
And this one, I feel like it really comes down to intent. Like, do they each have the same amount of intent as we would prescribe them from their personalities? Or are we saying they like want to kill each other?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So I'll tell you, I did this survey. I went to the X-Files subreddit and I asked people who would win. Now, the Eves won by vote by a fair amount, but it wasn't a complete shutout. It was, I would say, it looks like about 20% of the like 50 or so people who took my survey, about 20% of them said DPO would win. So, because I think it does depend on the circumstances. Because correct me if I'm wrong, the Eves don't have special powers besides being super smart and evil.
I think so, yeah. And so that's why, like, who would want to kill the other? I feel like that's a very easy question. The Eves would probably just like be mildly inconvenienced by this dumb teenager and want him dead.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, he kills a fair number of people, but it's always like kind of out of like strong emotion. And well, he does cause a car crash just to entertain himself by messing with the traffic light.
oh yeah, I don't know if it would be entertaining enough from his point of view. Whereas I feel like
Like
they
he just
would,
wouldn't even notice children.
yeah, whereas they would, I'm sure, find some sort of reason.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll share a few things that
Yeah.
people wrote in response, which is that the Eves would win because the Eves would probably win because Darren wouldn't even see them coming. They're smarter than normal children that age, whereas Darren is not very bright. Darren avoids a lot of problems in real life because people feel sorry for him, but the Eves would not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
We also, yeah, the Eves would have Darren down before he could even summon a spark.
Yeah.
They would have taken DPO out before he even noticed they were there. We did have another vote for Darren here, and then we have someone who thinks that while slowly dying of blood loss, DPO would electrocute the Eves.
Like maybe, he's on his way out and yeah, and I feel like, I mean, any methods they could come up with, well, any methods they could come up with would be probably sneakier. I mean,
They're so much sneakier.
Yeah.
They're sneakier in general, but also lightning is not a very sneaky way to kill someone. So
No. But if it was like, hey, you're going to have to, and I feel like now this is like, I don't know what this is. Pedantic, maybe. But I feel like we're going to have to establish early on, and this is the chance to do it. Are we talking about, again, intent, like they're as people what they would want
Yeah.
to do, or are we talking about like, no one leaves the cage style.
I think if it's a cage match, then DPO would win.
Yes.
But okay, here's how I see it. Tell me what you think of this framework.
Uh-huh.
They're both out to kill their opponent, but they're not necessarily in the same space, like when they are set on their mission.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, for the last one, I was picturing like a dark alley.
Hmm.
Um, and so like if it's just like you're walking down a dark alley, but see, the Eves would have to have access to like his food or which I mean, he would not see them coming. Does he know he's looking out for two little girls, or is it just like you're going to have an opponent soon?
I think he could know they're little girls, and I still think they could outsmart him and poison him or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very clever and manipulative.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They
If
would.
he's driving, they could cut his brakes in advance. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, I was reading more about the DPO, and I was thinking about him and how he basically can control the motion of electrons, mostly in lightning ways, but he also makes the radio come on in the car. And so I was glad to be reminded of the song Ring the Bells by James. I brought it up when we first talked about that episode. It's so good. I've been listening to it again. You should listen to it, everyone. But so I guess how I see it is, let's say our X-Files villains live wherever it is they live. They're contacted by us and told, "Oh God, we're monsters. Why are we doing this?" And they're told, "You have to kill these children." Maybe they agree to the tournament or whatever, and because they're villains, and
Or maybe they're just in the same town, is how I was kind of picturing it. Like we
okay,
have like small town America. On one side, we've got Robert Patrick Modell walking around. On the other hand, we've got a fluke man out, So like,
yeah,
what is if they were to encounter each other,
yeah. I mean,
generally
we
speaking?
could just say that the two villains are in Chicago and know the other is in Chicago, and they have to kill each other. And I've chosen Chicago simply because it's the nearest major city, and O'Hare is a hub, and they'll be able to get there.
So not small town.
Not small town.
Okay.
But then does that provide unfair advantages to one villain over the other? This is a hard. This is
It is.
science. This is science, right? Because you have to clearly define the parameters before you can answer the question.
Yeah, I was just talking about research design yesterday, and
That's what this is.
replication versus when you have like fixed effect variables and you have random effects variables, and
I don't even know about that stuff.
oh, I mean, just like a fixed effect variable is like I don't know, give these people vitamins and see how they do. Random effects variable would be like, I'm in this city and only have access to the people in this city. Is the city different than others? That's not what I want to be testing for, but it
I
might impact.
I see.
So,
Okay.
we
I
have
see.
our fixed effect variable in this case, I guess would be the powers of the villains themselves.
Mhm.
Uh, and maybe the random effects variable is just wherever they find themselves, and we just have to accept that.
Yeah, okay.
So I think we're going towards Eves, though.
I think we
Right.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that like it's one of those things where like if we ran this experiment with 100 DPOs and 200 Eves, um, I think most of the time DPO is dying.
Yeah. Replication. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Replicated studies. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is science.
Yeah.
This is science.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
okay, so we declare the Eves are the winner.
Yes. Celebratory Eve noises. What's up next?
Up next, we have Virgil Incanto, who is from the Fat Vampire episode.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like online dude with the insufferable name of
Right.
Virgil Incanto, with versus Phyllis Paddock, aka Mrs. Paddock, who is the devil worshipping woman from the episode where Bulldog from Frasier is part of a group of Satan worshipping
Teachers,
uh,
right?
teachers. Yeah. But comes in as a sub and she's like extra evil and takes out a bunch of people.
Okay. Great. Great.
Yeah. I think that'll be interesting because I feel like, well, you know what? No, not gonna
No,
discuss
we'll
it now,
wait.
which it's about to,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, good things to think about. I'm gonna have to refresh my memory of both of those episodes, I think.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I'm a lot less familiar. Great. All right, Eve won. Does this mean that Eve will now be matched up with the Fluke Man, or is that a different pairing?
No. The only way Eve and the Fluke Man could meet would be in the final because they're on opposite sides of the bracket. So I'm kind of going back and forth.
I
So
see.
the Eves will either fight Cecil Lively, the fireman,
Ooh,
or Leonard Betts, who is from an episode we're talking about in a couple weeks.
ooh, man, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Virgil and Canto and Phyllis Paddock, one of them will be fighting the Fluke Man.
Okay. Great. Um, okay. So then today we're talking about Tunguska.
Yeah.
Such a good episode. Oh my
Was
God.
it?
Oh, so good. Yeah.
Hey, remind me.
Yeah. I mean, like this and the next one, Terma, I think are like two of my favorite episodes. The ones where Krychek gets punched a bunch, you know?
Oh, oh, is this the one where Skinner punches him too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. So it opens where we see Scully being brought into a Senate hearing committee. And she's being questioned about where Mulder is. And she's like trying to interrupt them and saying, like, I don't think I can work on the X-Files anymore. And the guy
Oh,
questioning her is like, are you tendering your resignation, Agent Scully? And she's like, no, let me speak,
yeah.
basically. And so she's like refusing to answer their questions and keeps attempting to read this statement,
Hmm.
talking about like this big conspiracy within the government, etc. And it's supposed to be kind of like
Oh,
what's the term? In media res.
I did have another update. I'll save
Oh,
it for the end.
oh, okay.
Something related to musings of a cigarette smoking man, sort of.
Ooh,
I will tell you about it at the end.
okay. All right. Oh, Senator Sorensen. That's who it is that's questioning her. Do you remember that guy?
His name is familiar, but I don't
Okay.
remember him.
So he's like threatening to hold Scully in contempt. And it's all dramatic. And then we got the intro, uh, typical intro. So truth is out there.
No words. Okay.
Yeah. So 10 days earlier, someone is flying into Honolulu Airport. And it's a courier returning from Georgia, the country,
Hmm.
Republic of Georgia at the time. Still? Oh, crap. Is it still I don't know. We're not going to go down that road. Georgia. And he's searched by customs officers that are really, in my opinion, quite terrible at their jobs. He has like a suspicious pouch or briefcase sort of thing. I think they later refer to it as like can't remember. I have it somewhere in my
This is
notes.
just some dude.
A briefcase. Yeah, some dude, some middle-aged white guy holding a briefcase.
Okay.
And there's like something weird inside. And so they, hey, can you come over here? We want to look at it. And he's like, no, I can't open that for you. Eventually they open it and the guy is like, no, this is a biohazard. This is like, don't like stop messing with this. And the customs officers are just like, we're gonna just keep opening it. Which is just like so dumb.
Yeah.
And they end up it's in some sort of things in a glass canister and they drop it. And then the guy who had the briefcase is like, let me out of here, let me out of here. Uh, and then we see that the customs agents were exposed to the black oil. That's what was in there.
That's what he had. Oh my God. And I was trying to remember what the last conspiracy related stuff is that we've seen. And I believe it was with Jeremiah Smith. And the alien bounty hunter was after him, and Mulder got Jeremiah Smith to save his mom. But and Cancer Man did that whole like basically don't oh we have totally legit reasons to not kill Mulder, but actually it's because of his own feelings about Mulder. Yeah.
And Krychek was trapped in North Dakota, I believe.
That is the last time we saw him. He was trapped in that silo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, so then it switches to Mulder and Scully, and they're in New York City, which, by the way, good political news, speaking of New York City.
Yeah.
And they're taking place, they're like raiding some sort of domestic terrorist group. I can't tell. It looked kind of like a barn, but it's dark. There's people, there's
A
cars.
barn in New York City?
Oh, it can't be. Warehouse, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, I haven't only been to New York once. Maybe it's chock full of barns and I just don't know it.
yeah, I
Probably not.
mean, probably not, but I've never been there, so
Oh,
we
you
can.
haven't? Okay.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't. No desire to either.
Oh, I I liked it. I
I'm
mean, I
not,
was there very briefly.
yeah, I'm not crazy about big cities. Like, I feel like Milwaukee is my prime big city. But
Like
anything
it's the right
larger,
size. Yeah.
anything
You like
larger.
Paris though, don't you?
Oh, I love Paris. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
I
crazy
don't
about
know. I mean, I
Chicago.
was what I enjoyed. Oh, I loved Chicago. What I enjoyed about New York are things that I just don't have the stamina to do anymore, which is that we went out dancing and stayed out all night before our flight home, and I can't imagine that.
No.
Yeah.
Recently, we were talking, one of my kids asked, like, what's the latest you've ever stayed up? And I was like, I think probably like 5. And they were like, when did you do that? And I was like, oh, well, when me and Auntie and our friend Spencer went to Amsterdam when I was in college, and we, went dancing till real, real late. And they were just like, why would you do that? And it was honestly a hard question to answer these days.
Have you never stayed up all night?
No, no, I refuse. On principle, I don't know.
Good for you. I've stayed up all night a couple of times. Don't
Why?
care for one time I was hanging out with like Charlotte and Amber and some other people and we just stayed up late and I don't know. Then it was like, well, why not? The main time I remember is when I was taking a physics class where I really had procrastinated on some things, and we had these like programs we had to write that we had to turn in the next day for our final grade. And I stayed up all night working on them. And I had this old type of computer with like a little nub in the middle of the keyboard.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And I think I did some permanent damage to my hand using that thing overnight. So
Oh,
that
geez.
wasn't fun. Yeah, but and then I think I've stayed up all night more recently just in like a I can't sleep and
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
sort of way. Like I don't remember if it was after my knee surgery or
Yeah. I've certainly stayed up most of the night for reasons like that. But I've always, at some point, usually like 4 or 5, have like fallen asleep out of sheer exhaustion for a couple hours.
yeah, I feel like I probably
So,
have. I guess I also did a red-eye flight once from Phoenix to Chicago. And I slept a little bit on the flight, but like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't handle sleep deprivation well. I felt like I was going to be like hallucinating by the time we got to Chicago.
yeah, no. I just like, I would always get so annoyed by the people I went to college with that would be like, oh, I stayed up all night studying for this. And like as some sort of badge of honor. And I want, yeah, yeah. I did once stay up until 4 writing a parasitology paper, but then I
Oh,
got a couple hours of sleep and then finished it at like 6 and then went to class.
yeah. Me doing that physics programming project all night was not a badge of honor. That was a badge of procrastination and shame.
Yeah, yeah,
And doing it just so that I could pass. It was not good.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
Yeah.
real quick, because we're on the subject, talking about badges of honor and college and stuff. I got this idea from a newer colleague of mine when teaching to put statements on the board that, like, some of which are true and some of which are false, and to have the students argue for or against them so that they're like not giving their, like, it's safer for them to be like, oh, this person I think is wrong because of this, than having to share their own idea about like, oh, I think, or I have trouble with this. So like,
So is this kind of like, did you know that I use your name on an exam and say, Helen is doing a physics problem and she made one mistake in her work, find the mistake? Because
oh yeah,
I
kind
think
of.
Helen won't mind that I made her make mistakes at physics. So
Oh, Helen's made a lot of mistakes in physics. And you can take that broadly. Like,
this week you forgot that if something is moving to the left in a collision, we need to give it a negative sign.
ah, you know what? I think I actually wouldn't have forgotten that. Uh,
I think you'd be okay in this class.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been using the names of real people I went to college with,
Oh,
some of whom I like and some of whom I don't. And so I've been purposely making the people that I liked always like have the right idea, and then get to hear, so what do we think? Do we think Brian was right? No, says the whole class. Brian's wrong. It's been healing, I think.
that's amazing.
Um, anyway,
I will just say to relate what we were talking about all-nighters to X-Files is I just wanted to remind us of that episode Sleepless, where there's those soldiers who basically took a drug where they couldn't sleep and it gave them powers.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So it's good that we get sleep because otherwise,
we'd have powers.
yeah. And with powers comes responsibility and,
We all know how it goes from there.
yeah.
So they're taking place in this raid.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Oh my God. Right.
I know Mulder has some sort of like tip from the group that he was being sent receipts of some sort for like some sort of ammunitions or something that the group was buying. And Scully is asking him, like, do you actually trust this person? Who was it who was sending you these receipts? And so they see someone like trying to get away. There's like the raid, but then there's a truck driving by, and Mulder stops the truck and tells the driver to get out, and it's Krychek.
Oh my God. It's Krychek. I
Yeah.
knew it's in this episode and I'm still shocked.
Yep.
What's he doing just driving a truck?
Well, so apparently the terrorists that he was working with helped release him from the missile silo in North Dakota where he was trapped.
Okay. That's
Uh,
nice. That's
yeah.
nice of him.
Yeah. And so he's claiming to Mulder that he has since turned against the syndicate and the cigarette smoking man. And is trying, and so he was the one sending Mulder the receipts, trying to expose their work.
Oh.
Yes. So,
Huh. I mean, I think that what we know is that Krychek, the only person Krychek is loyal to is Krychek.
yes. Yeah. Yep. And so, like, I believe him in that, like, he was left there by the government folks. And so,
Right.
at the moment, I think he's probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they go to the airport in Washington. So Krychek leads Mulder and Scully there because he says that there's a diplomatic pouch. That was the word I was trying to think of. I don't even entirely know what makes it different from a regular pouch, except that a diplomat carries it.
I'm just picturing some sort of kangaroo in the
Oh,
government. Yeah.
oh,
Have a diplomatic pouch.
yeah. Um, And so there's a courier coming from Russia with a pouch. And so it's like similar situation to the person coming in from Honolulu.
Okay.
And so they see the courier. Mulder temporarily handcuffs Krychek to like a pole in the airport and leaves him there while Mulder and Scully run after him. And
But the courier is trying to get away.
yeah, he's trying to
Okay.
get away. He leaves the pouch and gets away. And so they get the pouch and bring it back to where they left Krychek, and there's like a rock inside. And so they're like, oh, bummer, just a rock.
So it was like a dummy pouch?
That's what we are supposed to think at that moment. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've thought what I'm supposed to think.
Yes. So Mulder takes Krychek. Well, we see Skinner shirtless again, surprisingly jacked.
Oh my God, that is my main takeaway from these episodes is like, damn, Mitch Pileggi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we see Skinner answering the door. It's like real late at night, and Mulder's there and asks if he can help him provide a safe house for someone, and then opens the door wider, and Mulder's there holding Krychek by the arm. And Skinner says, yeah, he can, provide him with safe harbor, and then punches Krychek real hard in the stomach and says something about like, like semi-safe or something like that. Like he's not, going to be totally fine.
Yeah.
Then Skinner locks him by the handcuffs onto his balcony.
Yes, I remembered him being on a balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Krychek is like whining that he'll be too cold, and Skinner just like clearly doesn't care, and it's wonderful. So they have this rock, and so they get it analyzed by NASA, I think. I don't know how they first get to NASA. They must ask someone in the FBI first. I don't know how they're automatically know to go to NASA. But it turns out that it's a space rock, essentially.
What?
Yes. So it is a space rock. Specifically, they say a prehistoric meteorite fragment that might contain fossilized alien bacteria.
I would love to talk to Matt Siegler, our astronomer friend, who has worked with Mars and talked about issues with Martian dirt and stuff, and see what he would think of this.
Yeah.
Let me reach out to him.
I would like to take this moment to say, speaking of space and my friend Britt, she's teaching a class that God, I wish I could take in the spring about space volcanoes.
That's the whole class?
Yeah, it's about space volcanoes, and it sounds so much fun.
See, I thought you were afraid of Io and the volcano. No, I'm so sorry. Oh fuck. I'm mixing up my names. What's the name of the volcano? Olympus Mons. I thought you were afraid of Olympus Mons.
Yeah, big time. I mean, but this is the same way that I took like a literature of scary monsters class in college. Like,
got it. Yeah. I would love to ask Zach to edit me out saying Io, but I'll let it stand because people make mistakes and that's okay. And I'm setting a good example, even though I'm deeply uncomfortable with it.
You know what? No, because I'm afraid of everything in space. So I am also afraid of Io. So I think it works.
Okay. All right. So it stands.
Yeah.
It reminds me too much of when I accidentally said a song by ODB was by Biggie, and I was really embarrassed, and I said it to Adam, and he had no idea. But then I realized what I had done and was very embarrassed. And so he brings it up all the time, not all the time, but often. Oh, it's like, yeah.
Space rock.
So it's a space rock, and it might have fossils of alien organisms.
Yeah, they say bacteria. So,
Cool.
So at some point NASA gets it.
Okay.
So Skinner is out walking to work, presumably, and a cigarette smoking man approaches him and demands that he return the pouch. So he knows that they have the pouch with the space rock.
Okay.
And Skinner kind of, plays it cool or whatever. But then we see a courier break into Skinner's apartment and search for the pouch. So they think that Skinner has it.
Is it the same courier who ran from Mulder and Scully who had the rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's again, all these like really similar light-haired, light-eyed, middle-aged white men that I have a hard time keeping track of, frankly.
Got it. Yeah.
But I think so.
Okay.
And so he checks the patio and is thrown off the side of the patio by Krychek.
Krychek throws him off the patio? Off the balcony?
Yes.
Whoa!
Yep.
I thought he was gonna like let Krychek out and they were gonna be friends or something.
No. Nope.
Whoa.
So now there's a dead body below Skinner's balcony.
Oh no.
Yep.
And a very live one on the balcony
Yeah.
itself. Okay. This is complicated for Skinner. All right.
Yeah. So at NASA, the Dr. Sachs, I think, or something like that, cuts into the fragment of the rock. So he's going to like try to investigate it more. But black oil is inside and sprays all over him and
Oh
gets in his
no.
face.
Oh no.
And he was even wearing like a hazmat suit or some sort of PPE, and the black oil can apparently get inside of that. So no one is safe from the black oil. And he's put
But it was trapped inside the rock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. That's all I got.
All right. That's fair.
And so he's in like this kind of like trance-like state where he's just like standing in the lab, staring into space, consumed by oil, presumably. So Mulder goes to New York to visit Marita.
Oh, Marita Covarrubias.
Yep. And he goes inside her apartment and he asks for more information. And there's like a long sequence of him falling asleep on her couch while she's like making a bunch of phone calls. And she tells him that the fragment originated from the Russian province of Krasnoyarsk. Maybe?
Okay. I don't know my Russian provinces, so.
Yeah, me neither. And so she says, I can get you the documents you need to travel there. So Mulder's going to Russia.
That's where the rock came from because of her insider info.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct. And so Mulder, when talking to her, is like, oh, that's where the Tunguska event occurred.
Oh.
So that's how we get to the name of the episode, which is referencing the Tunguska event, which was happened in 1908. And I think it's funny that when you pull up the Wikipedia page, it says date. June 30th, 1908, 117 years ago. Like it does that calculation for us, which I find slightly helpful, slightly weird, slightly unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So out in the middle of Russia, again, that same province that I'm not going to try to pronounce again. There was this huge explosion early in the morning over by Lake Baikal, which I have heard of.
Okay.
And the people that lived there saw like a bluish light in the horizon that kind of moved across the sky. So this is where we get like, could this have been an alien? I mean, no, it wasn't. But you know,
would it be? I'm trying to be like Mulder.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no though. So they think it was some sort of meteor maybe, or small asteroid or comet or something. But there was basically an explosion attributed to a meteor airburst. What that is? A meteor airburst is a type of airburst, I'm told, in which a meteoroid explodes after entering a planetary body's atmosphere.
Well, that makes sense because it's heating up, right? As it goes through the atmosphere and it's moving really fast, it's going to burn up. So maybe it would explode. That I feel like that's reasonable because the meteor is cruising along through space and there isn't much for it to run into. But then once it's in the atmosphere, there's friction from the air and everything, and so then it gets hot, and then boom. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Bunch of trees were knocked over. It was a really big event. Some up to 3 people may have died. It was
up to 3 people may have died is a fascinating statistic, isn't it?
Yeah. What was it with more than 30 wild boars, or what was that thing years ago?
Oh, it was 30 to 60, I think. 30 to 50. Yeah, wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feral
Uh,
hogs. Feral hogs.
feral hogs, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, my sense is it was 1908, and so they, you
Couldn't
know,
count.
no, more like maybe things got mixed up in the testimony, or maybe I did not do as much research as I would have liked to on this. I would also say, like, I don't know, maybe it's one of those things where, like, did someone get hit with radiation and then died years later? And do we count?
So
I
there
don't
was
know.
radiation then. Cool. I mean, not cool, but interesting.
That's me extrapolating,
Hmm.
maybe? Crap. I don't know.
I
I
don't know that
think
much about it. I mean, I
yeah,
I have heard of it, but I mix it up with like all sorts of other weird shit that's happened in Russia and stuff, like those people who
like the Tsar's family getting murdered.
yeah, I mix it up with that. I'm like, Tunguska, is that the one with Anastasia? Um, no, have you heard about that thing where like uh there were like these people and they were like camping and then they like all died in like
Yes. Yes.
yeah, like crazy, they died in crazy ways and
Dyatlov
like
pass. The Dyatlov pass.
yes, I mix it up with that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Um, so, and there've been all sorts of like scientific expeditions in like the 20s and the 60s. Like there's been a number of them of people trying to figure out like doing chemical analysis of stuff. I don't know. I did not read about this as much as I should have. But I don't know if there was ever like a definitive this is what happened. Um, but it made a huge physical crater, and UFO believers, have used this as a reason to think maybe there's UFOs,
Okay.
like Mulder. And so Mulder is going to Russia. And so this is when we get the great scene of him uh, reluctantly bringing along Krychek, and he's
To
getting
Russia with him.
well, to the car, to the airport, and Mulder shuts the car door and is like, I'll have Scully come bring you a bowl of water in 3 days or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And is gonna like leave him at the airport in the car. And Krychek is like, no, Mulder, you can't do that. And starts yelling at him in Russian. And and Mulder is like, wait, Krychek, you speak Russian? And apparently his parents were Cold War immigrants from Russia.
Hmm.
And so,
Okay.
yes, Krychek is fluent in Russian. And so he's coming with.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
There was a survey that I saw where people were asked, I don't know if it was a survey, like, who do you think is the best looking guy in the X-Files? And a lot of people mentioned Krychek. And I gotta say, like, it never even occurred to me. Like, of course, Nick Lisley is really good looking, but it never crossed my mind. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
yeah.
I think I was like, but he is Krychek. He is bad. And that's where my brain stopped, which is not normal because I could see other villains are good looking. I can't think of a single villain besides Krychek, and I don't mean on the X-Files. I mean in anything. Sauron.
Yeah.
I don't think Sauron is good looking. The only other one I can think of is Scar.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Jafar.
This he's human. But no, yeah, I mean, it never even occurred to me. But of course he
Huh.
is.
Yeah.
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 Reminds me of when I went and saw The Sound of Music with my stepdaughter a few years ago, and it was like the first time I'd seen it in a really long time, and now I'm an adult. I loved it as a kid, and I was like, "Oh, so Christopher Plummer is really hot. I never
Oh,
knew."
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have had similar thoughts. Yeah, because he's just so old. And then
yeah,
you get older and you're like, oh no, no, Christopher
yeah,
Plummer. Yeah.
yeah.
So we see some interaction between Smoking Man and Well Manicured Man, where
Hmm.
they're talking at Well Manicured Man's like upstate. I don't know what state. Uh no, Virginia. So I don't know. Virginian. Uh I almost said resort. That's not the right word. Estate.
Date?
Estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about Mulder being in Russia, essentially.
Hmm.
So They know
So
he's
they know
there.
he's there. Okay.
Yes. Skinner and Scully get subpoenaed to appear before the Senate, Senator Sorensen's panel discussing what happened to the missing pouch. They think that, Mulder has the pouch. And so,
Wait, they don't know that NASA has the pouch?
you know what? No,
Huh.
I don't know, because Scully also goes back and is like investigating the guy who was infected, the NASA scientist, and is like, oh my God, he's alive. Like she goes to see. So I don't know, maybe about what was in I don't know. That's a hole that I'm guessing is my fault.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe it was just poor interagency communication.
Maybe.
Uh,
I was just reading something about uh like a kidnapping that happened back in 2003, and how at one point someone made a phone call, but technology wasn't good enough in '03 to exactly pinpoint cell phones. And so they got like the general vicinity, but like by, not by like a long shot to actually where it was. So maybe NASA didn't have the FBI's phone number and vice versa.
like they were
I don't.
yeah, I know. I'm thinking it through. Like, I'm thinking maybe it's like if Mulder was secretive enough about it when he gave it to them and they don't know where it came from. And so they don't know that they have something that the Senate is looking for.
Maybe. That
Okay.
sounds more plausible. Yeah,
I think they could probably get their phone number.
I think
They have
probably.
phone books. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you is the FBI in a phone book though?
I don't know.
I mean, I think you could probably find it online now, some sort of.
Whoa. I'm sorry. The FBI has a branch we could call in Middleton.
Oh, no kidding.
You look it up. It seems like it's kind of easy to contact the FBI. Yeah, but I mean, but probably not to get like the right people.
Right. Yes. And also, whether or not they're in a phone book seems different than whether or not in 2025 they have a contact number online.
Yeah, but
But if you're
I think they could get. Yeah, I
think
feel
they
like.
could probably call NASA. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, this
yeah.
is unnecessary. Okay. They but so the pouch is missing. They
Okay.
don't know where it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Um Skinner questions Scully about Mulder's whereabouts. And she's staying close-lipped. She's not letting Skinner in on what's going on. And However, they are aware. Skinner gets home from work. I'm a little out of order here, but Skinner gets home from work and they're like, "Oh, hey, there's a body below your side of the building," and
Yeah.
Oh, I'm way out of order. I'm sorry, because this would have been before they went to Russia. Because then he was like, I also thought I saw that a guy hanging off the balcony. That couldn't have been yours,
Oh.
right? Which was Krychek. So that's how Mulder ends up with Krychek, because he was clearly spotted hanging off of Skinner's balcony. Okay.
Got it.
My apologies.
That's okay.
So meanwhile, Mulder and Krychek are hiking through the Russian Siberian wilderness.
Wow.
And they
Hiking,
find,
huh?
yeah,
I just wonder, like, did they rent a car? Did they get dropped off? How'd they get from the airport to the wilderness?
I don't know.
I wonder, I'm thinking about like the details of their travel,
Like if you're planning a trip to Tunguska, how should you
yeah,
get to the crater site?
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
They find like a fence of sorts and hear people digging, and they're like, oh, would those be the miners? I don't know really what they mean by like miners. Like, who is mining and why do they think they're mining? But there's clearly some sort of like labor camp happening.
Okay.
And this is at the site of impact. So at Tunguska, out in the
Oh, that's
wilderness.
the site of the impact from 1908.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Um, And then they're like, they sneak under some fence and are trying to be all sneaky and stuff. And they, hear people possibly mining in the distance. And then they come across people, higher ups, for lack of a better term, people that work at the labor camp, the guards or such. And I wonder if you recall this, there's this really like, so they're caught, right? And
Yeah.
it's bad news. And the one guy has a whip, and there's like this really cheesy, like, well, I can't do the whip noise. Like this like big whip crack, and like the guys, and then it like cuts to commercial. This like, do you remember that?
No, I don't.
I remembered it when I saw it. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. It's like so cheesy. I don't know. It's like
Huh.
really out of place.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, so they are captured and thrown in some sort of jail.
Okay.
Um, so then again, we've got Scully and Skinner being questioned about the death of the courier from the balcony.
Ah, yeah.
And that seems fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the location of Mulder. Mulder is in prison in Russia. And there's a guy in the cell next to him who's speaking Russian at first, but then Mulder says, I don't speak Russian, and the guy knows English as well. And the guy is telling him that people have been being captured and brought there and subject to experiments.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And so we also see Krychek talking with the like guards or whatever. And
Is he also prisoner?
yeah, but he's like speaking very friendly to the
Okay.
guards and
And he can speak Russian, so we don't. Are there captions?
no.
Oh,
But then
okay.
the other guy, the
Mhm.
other prisoner is like, that man is not your friend. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. And is like, he speaks to the guards in a way, in which equals speak to each other. He is not, don't
yeah.
touch him. Uh, and so then right after that, guards burst into Mulder's cell and inject him with a syringe.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh
And
no.
Mulder wakes up and he's on some sort of bed or table or something, and he's got like wire pressing on his face so that he's like held down, and black oil starts dripping into his face as he's screaming. And that's the end of the
Oh
episode.
God.
Yeah.
And then people had to wait a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. So despite me mixing up a few things about that pouch, it was a very, very good episode. Again, this was one of my favorites, like ever. And it,
Man.
apparently the inspiration for the oil containing rocks was because of something called the Allen Hills 84001, which was a fragment of a Martian meteorite that was found in Antarctica in 1984.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so this was like, so this discovery of it was the kind of, uh, what's it called? Inspiration for this like rock full of biological stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
yeah. So that was Tunguska. And I don't know if you remember how the next one ends, but I sure do.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't know.
you will.
No. Okay.
Yep. I'm like nearly certain I remember. I think it's pretty noteworthy, but I can't
No,
say
you shouldn't
anything.
tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I just wanted to double check to see if there's any updates on ShipGoo 001,
oh my
the
gosh,
plant
yeah.
oil that was found on that research vessel in the Great Lakes. No updates at the moment that I can see in the news. It is a new microbe. Um, Good stuff. Yeah, we talked more about it on our bonus episode in Munich if you didn't hear it.
Yeah,
So,
I forgot about it.
yep,
ShipGoo 001. That is just so fantastic.
really, really is. Yeah.
I hope I get to name something someday, and I hope I have a good idea for it. That's it. You had something else you were going to say? Was it about ShipGoo or?
So I'm not about ShipGoo. No, it was about G. Gordon Liddy, who got brought up in the last episode,
Oh, yeah.
because he worked with E. Howard Hunt, doing shady stuff, and I mean,
Right.
he's the one that I think I told you our mom was like, "Oh no, he is really bad." G. Gordon Liddy. But then she was doing some research, reading up on G. Gordon Liddy, and found that like after he got out of jail after Watergate, he later acted in some episodes of things, including Miami Vice and MacGyver.
What?
Isn't that really weird?
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
God. I had something weird to tell you and everyone
oh,
else. You know who Ada Lovelace is, right?
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, the for people who don't know, she was like one of the first computer scientists, basically, right?
Yeah, yeah, kind of coming up with the ideas of computer programming before there were computers. She was also the daughter of Lord Byron.
That's where I was going with this. I did not know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's weird, isn't it?
yes, I almost texted you at like 10 o'clock last night to be like, oh my God, did you know that Lord Byron, that he had a daughter who is Ada Lovelace?
Yeah, and it said that like her mom like encouraged her pursuits in math and science because it was like the opposite of Lord Byron.
Right. She was worried that she was going to like fall into insanity like she thought that he had. I fell down like a long Wikipedia
Mhm.
wormhole yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think she got really into gambling, Ada Lovelace, and tried to like figure out how to like predict things using her programs and stuff?
yeah, which is too bad, but also like, I don't know, I kind of wish she would have succeeded. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Isn't that wild though that that connection? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You
Good,
knew
good
that.
Ada Lovelace news. Yeah. Um,
That's all I got then. So next week we will talk about Terma, the
yep.
episode, and I can't think of the names of the people, but the people who are fighting.
Virgil and Canto versus Phyllis Paddock
That's right.
in our X-Files Villains Bracket tournament.
Woo!
The other day, I think I realized that the final matchup will occur during our 100th episode. I may have done the math wrong because I was doing it in my head, but it'll be very close. It'll be near our 100th episode as a celebration.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah,
100 episodes.
I know.
I mean, still a few left before there, but
Yeah,
what are we at
still
now then?
88-ish,
Oh, wow.
plus or
Huh.
minus one. Yeah.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. Well, until next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We Want to Believe is hosted by Helen Werner and Liz Holden. It's produced by Zach Werner. The We Want to Believe theme music was created and recorded by Zach Werner. Find us at wewanttoBelievePod.com, on Instagram at wewanttoBelievePod, or send us an email at wewanttoBelievePod@gmail.com.